Hey there everyone, Mr. D here, and in this video we're going to be starting to talk about applications of sine and cosine graphs. Remember, these graphs follow kind of a periodic pattern here where it's a nice wavy pattern. So there in red I have a typical sine function for one cycle, and then here in blue that would be the graph for one single iteration of a cosine period. So what we're going to start seeing is word problems that will fit to one of these two shapes, and we can use those graphs to help us answer some questions. Now, we had a worksheet previously, so if you need to check your answers, there you go. Feel free to pause the video here. And now let's get into some warm-ups. All right, we want to graph one cycle of the following functions. Be sure to clearly label both axes and plot 5 points. All right, so first, I've got -2 times sine of 2x plus 1. So that negative sign tells me that it's going to be an upside down sine function, so it's going to be that general shape. My amplitude is going to be 2. My period comes from the b value. So I'll take 2 pi divided by the period. 2 pi divided by the b value to get the period. In that case, it's going to be b. Wow, I can't speak today. Pi. Woof. The interval is going to be whatever the period value was divided by 4, because we chop our x-axis into fourths. So we'd go pi over 4, and if I can simplify that, I will. Unfortunately, I can't. And then lastly, we have this plus 1, which means our graph goes up 1 unit. And remember, that d value there is also going to be the midline. So we got that tidbit of information for free. So let's start sketching. First, we'll start off with the y-axis. My midline is at 1. My amplitude is 2, so I'm going to go up 2 and I'm going to go down 2. Well, if I go up 2, I'm going to be at 3, and if I go down 2, I'm at -1. I don't need all those in-between dash marks. You can put them if you want, but you don't need them. This means my my x-axis would be right about here. So I'm going to go ahead and sketch in my x-axis right about there. Down at the end of my x-axis, I'll put a tick mark, and that's going to represent the period for one cycle of this function. From there, I'll chop that segment in half, and then I'll chop each of those smaller segments in half. By doing so, we now have this thing split into fourths. And now we can count up by our intervals. So we're counting up by 1 pi over 4. So this would be 1 pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, and 4 pi over 4. Some of these, yes, can simplify. 2 pi over 4, well, we would call that pi halves. 4 pi over 4, those 4s would cancel out. They'd simplify to 1. That simplifies to pi. All right. Now we'll kind of sketch in our little boundary lines here. And this is just to help with the shape of the function. And then we'll get to graphing. I need to plot this green shape onto these points. So I'll start at the midline. I go down to the minimum, not to the axis, all the way to that minimum line. Back up to the middle, up to the max, and at the middle. And I'll do my best to connect those dots. Shazam, there we go. All right, next one, we have y equals 3 cosine of pi fourths x minus 2. Well, it's a cosine graph, so the function here is going to start at the top, swoop all the way down to the bottom, end at the top. Amplitude is 3. The period comes from that b value. Now, if I'm dividing by pi over 4, that's the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. So I can multiply by 4 over pi. Dividing and multiplying by the reciprocal are the same thing. Dividing by 3 is the same as multiplying by 1/3. So if I do that, the period of this function would be 2 pi times 4 over pi. The pi's will simplify out. 2 times 4, I get 8. So the period is 8. The intervals, whatever the period was, divide that by 4, so the interval is going to be 2. We're counting up by 2's. And then my shift is going to be down 2. down 2, which then means my midline is going to be the function, or the y value of y equals -2. So let's graph. Y-axis first. Midline is at -2. Our amplitude is 3, so we're going to go up 3. We're going to go down 3. If I go up 3 from -2, that puts me at a +1. If I go down 3, I'm at -5. This means my x-axis would be right about there, between the +1 and -2, a little bit closer to the +1. My period for this function was 8, so that's going to go all the way at the end. And then I need my intervals, so I'll chop that segment in half and chop each half in half. And we count up by our interval here of 2. So 2, 4, 6, and then we already know 8. 2, 4, 6, and 8. All right, hard part's over. All we have to do now is plot our 5 points and get a general shape of this function. It's a positive cosine, which means we're going to start up at the top line. Then we go through the middle line, all the way down to the minimum line, back up through the middle, and at the top, with nice, smooth, curve function, there's our cosine graph. All right, now let's get into some word problems. A boat bobs up and down with the waves. The difference between the lowest and highest point of the boat is 8 inches. The boat is at equilibrium when it is halfway between the lowest and highest points. Each cycle of the periodic motion lasts 3 seconds. So they just told me the period of the function here. Write an equation for the motion of the boat. Let h represent the height in inches, and let t represent the time in seconds. Assume the boat is at equilibrium, so that's smack dab in the middle, at 0 seconds. All right, when in doubt, draw it out. So we have a boat. Our boat is at equilibrium at 0 seconds. This boat is then traveling at waves. Now, we don't know if it's going to go up on a wave first or down on a wave. I'll say it goes down first, but it really doesn't matter. So it swoops down, comes back up, and then it's back at equilibrium. And that pattern goes on over and over and over. They tell us that that process takes a total of 3 seconds. So the period of this function is 3 seconds. What else do they tell us? The distance between the highest and the lowest points. So the high point is up here, the low point all the way down here was 8 inches. Well, that means half of that, which would be my amplitude, would be 4. Okay, what else do we have? Oh, we're just trying to write an equation here. Okay, well, it looks like I sketched a graph. So I did part B. Whoopsie days. So we want to sketch a graph. There we go. Of the function. All right, so now let's write out what this function would be. Well, first off, I'm noticing it's a sine function. And we assumed that it was just kind of at regular sea level, so it didn't really have any sort of shift up or down. So you could put a +0 there or just have nothing, it doesn't matter. The amplitude was 4, so we could put a 4 in front. Now, with regard to positive or -4, we didn't really know if it starts going downward on a wave, then goes up, or if it starts going up on a wave, then goes down. We didn't know, so I'm going to put a plus or minus here because, we don't really know that. But we can use this 3 seconds aspect to help get the b value. So remember, the period is equal to 2 pi over b, or we could say b is equal to 2 pi over the period. These are saying the same thing. Well, if the period was 3, then my b value is 2 pi over 3. So there's my function. Let's see another word problem. The height of water in a wave pool oscillates between a maximum of 13 feet and a minimum of 5 feet. The wave generator pumps out 6 waves per minute. Okay. We want to write a sine function and then graph it. I'm actually going to do the graph first because that helps me visualize the function. If you're vice versa, then feel free to flip that. So let's get a graph. We've got 13 and 5 feet as our min and our max. So the maximum is 13, minimum is 5, which means the x-axis would be somewhere down here. We're oscillating between those. I don't know the midpoint though. I could find that out. I could either figure out, okay, how far apart are these two? Chop that in half and that would be the distance between them. You could add them up, divide by 2. If you're kind of a visual person, you can imagine a bunch of little grid squares. Doesn't really matter what you choose, but that mid value is going to be 9. All right, so we have the D value right now is going to be 9, and we also know the amplitude is going to be 4. So if we're writing a sine function, here's what I know thus far, is we're going to have 4 sine something x plus 9. Here's what I've got so far. This problem is also saying that we have 6 waves per minute. 6 waves per minute. Well, a minute is 60 seconds. So if there's 6 waves in 60 seconds, I could really say 1 wave is 10 seconds. That would be the period. So 1 wave in 10 seconds. Now, since we are doing a sine function, they don't really, again, tell us positive or negative. We can sketch in our graph relatively quickly. I didn't have the little boundary lines on that one, so it's a little bit harder for me to visualize. But the period is going to be 10. So to figure out that b value, I needed to do 2 pi over 10. Well, that would just be pi over 5. All right, last one. The beach where your family is vacationing has high tide and low tide and roll tide, baby. The water level varies 70 inches between low tide at 8:40 a.m. and high tide at 2:55 p.m. What is the cosine function that models the variation in inches above and below the average water level as a function of the number of hours since 8:40 a.m.? How long into the cycle does the function first cross the midline? What does the midline represent? All right, well, let's start drawing. Things that we know, it's going to be a cosine. It starts off at low tide. So graphically speaking, here's what I've got. We'd have regular sea level. We start off at low tide, we go up to high tide. And then it kind of cycles back down. So the graph for this thing, it's going to look something like that. They tell us what time it hits high tide at. Right, because if we're going from 8:40 a.m. to 2:55 p.m., we can figure out that time. Okay. What else do we know? The water levels vary 70 inches, so that means we'd have 35 in each direction. So that's going to be our amplitude, would be 35. Okay. All right, well, I think the only thing left to figure out is just what this value is, and then we can also, that's going to be kind of like the halfway point. We can also figure out what that ending point was. So let's figure out that time. From 8:40 a.m. to 2:55 p.m. Well, if I go from 8:40 to 9:40, that's 1 hour. 9:40 to 10:40 is 2 hours. 10 to 11, 3. 11 to noon, 4. Noon to 1, 5. Noon to 2, 6. So right now we're at 6:40. So we'd be at 6 hours and 15 minutes. AKA 6 1/4 of an hour, so 6.25 hours. So that's going to be this value right here. Which then means this would be 12.5 over that way. So now I have a basic graph. Let's see if this is enough to answer some of my questions here. What is a cosine function that models the variation in inches above and below the average water level as a function of the number of hours since 8:40? All right, well, it's going to be a cosine, and it starts at the negative because we're starting at low tide. The amplitude was 35. We know it's a cosine. And we're starting at regular old sea level, so 0. To figure out this b value, we need to take our period and divide that out of 2 pi. So 12.5 was our period. So 2 pi over 12.5. Woof. If you're ever stuck with a decimal within a fraction, one thing you can do is kind of unsimplify this. And what we could say is instead of dividing 2 out of each of these, because I'd get a nastier decimal here, is I could actually double 12.5 to call that 25, and I could double the numerator to call that a 4 pi. So that could give me my b value, 4 pi over 25. These fractions hold the same value. This one just doesn't have a decimal, so it looks a little cleaner. Part B, how long into the cycle does the function first cross the midline? What does that midline represent? So they're asking me, how long does it take to get to that spot right there? Well, that's just half of 6.25. So half of 6.25, that would be 3.125 hours. So 3 1/8 of an hour. If I wanted a specific time, that would be roughly 11:48 a.m. The midline represents the average sea level. And I think we've answered everything. All right, folks, that is it. That is all for this video. If you have any questions, please let me know. And as always, good luck, have fun, be safe, roll tide.